Hi, I'm Melissa Krieger with Do Yoga With Me. This is a thorough, full spectrum, challenging beginner class. You'll need a block. Enjoy. We'll start today on our backs. You might lie in constructive rest pose with the feet flat and the knees bent. Make yourself really comfortable. Maybe a little tuck with the chin, and of course the shoulders down and away from the ears. Let your body really settle into the mat, settle into the floor. This sense of taking up space. Notice all the places where your body touches down. Notice yourself in the space you're in. Notice sound, light, temperature, and scent. Welcome your whole self here. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere that you don't need to be. And see what you can do to let it go. And to focus on the way you're breathing. And get curious about the breath. Notice where it goes. And what it feels like. And what it sounds like. Take 3 more breaths. And start to let your body move. As you take these movements, just notice how you feel. Check in with your physical body, where you're at mentally, emotionally, energetically, and as always, welcome it all here. It's all good. Bend your knees again. Start to wake up your deep core via your breath. So I want you to deepen your exhale, big inhale, and exhaling out as much as you can. So the exhale gets stronger and sharper. Try that a couple more times. So what you should feel when you exhale all the way out, what you might feel when you exhale all the way out, is that your deep abdominal muscles are waking up. So there might be a bit of a contraction through the belly. And also your pelvic floor muscles, they wake up too, the muscles at the base of the pelvis. So we want to take advantage of that during our practice together. Along with that really extended exhale, you could also see if you could draw back a little bit more at your low belly, so a couple inches below your belly button, like you're sucking that area back, and drawing up at the pelvic floor, the muscles at the base of the pelvis. So the combination of that extended exhale, low belly pulling back, pelvic floor drawing up, is a great way to be stronger through the midsection, through the deep core, so we can protect the back. Now go ahead and stretch your arms out, please, and walk your feet about as wide as your mat. And start to let your knees move from side to side like windshield wipers. Still working with that same sense of strength, breath and core, so it's not just floppy from side to side. Draw the legs back through to center. Walk your arms so they're right beside you, palms face down. Bring the feet closer together, so heels, knees, hips, all about the same distance apart. Big inhale. Big exhale, wake up deep core. Push the feet down, lift the hips up. Inhale at the top for a bridge. Exhale, lower back down again. Inhale. Exhale, press down, press up. Inhale, make sure your inner thighs are engaged, knees point to the sky. Exhale, lower. One more inhale. Exhale, press down, lift up. Inhale, feel the big toes push down into the ground. And exhale to lower down, please. Draw the knee in towards your chest. Let the other leg stretch out strong along the ground. Chin's a little bit tucked in. 2 breaths. Keep the opposite hand to that knee resting, and the other arm stretches out. This isn't a big twist, maybe a third or half, just starting to draw the leg a little bit across. The hip will still stay on the floor. 2 breaths. Bring the leg back in. Draw the other knee in towards the chest. Stretch the leg out long. Couple breaths. Keep the opposite hand to that leg, resting on the knee. Stretch the other arm out. Draw it across slightly. Find your breath. Release that. Both feet flat on the floor. Pick one foot up, cross your ankle over your thigh, press your knee away from you. Keep the back foot where it is, or hop it in a little bit closer. Or some of you might pick the back foot up off the ground and reach for the back thigh. Try to find softness where you can, so that you can just really get into that hip stretch while the rest of the body stays relaxed. Release that back leg and then cross the top leg tighter so there isn't a hole anymore. Pick your back foot up and reach for your knees. Keep the hands on the knees or start to slide the hands down to the shins. Some of you might get the ankles. So the stretch gets a little higher, a little bit deeper, but again, see where you can relax. Take 2 more breaths. Uncross the legs. Cross your other ankle over. Press the knee away. Then find where you need to be for your stretch. Later on in this practice, we'll be doing pigeon pose, and remember, this is a really great option if pigeon pose isn't a good fit for you. Release that back leg, cross the legs tighter, draw the legs in. And this is a really great substitution. We'll be doing seated cow face later, seated Gomukhasana. This is your version on your back if that's a better fit for your body. 1 more breath, please. Now stretch your arms and legs up to the sky and circle out your wrists and your ankles. And give your arms and legs a good jiggle. Keep breathing deeply. 1 more. And then drop into a Shavasana-like shape. And notice just that small amount of movement can really wake the body up. Take 1 more breath. Bend your knees. Roll to your side and press up to all 4s, please. Take care in all 4s to have the fingers spread wide, the wrists under the shoulders, and a little bit of give in the elbows so you're not hyperextended. Start to let your hips sway from side to side. Start to move in a circle. Keep the breath moving, deep and full. And circle the other way. And come back through to center. Let 1 leg stretch back behind you and land on your toes. Take an exhale, wake up your core, stretch the opposite arm to the sky. 2 breaths. Now lower that hand down and the weight starts to shift to that hand. The back leg, you'll flatten that foot so the toes point off to the side. Shift all the weight to one side, stretch the arm to the sky. So it's a little bit more balancey. You might want to look down to the ground. Press the hips up. 2 breaths. Lower the hand and the knee down. Opposite leg stretches back. Opposite arm to that leg stretches up and reach out. Drop that hand down, shift the weight to that side, flatten the foot, push the toes out, stretch the arm up and over. And reach out a little more. And lower back down. Let's press into child's pose for a couple breaths. A variation that you like. Breathe into the back body. So this is a more strenuous practice, and we'll do a lot of downward dogs, and you're always welcome at any point to take a break, resting down here in child's pose or resting in all fours. You can either stay down in child's pose or start to make your way up towards downward dog. Widen the hands, spread the fingers out, tuck the toes, push back. You can be generous with a bend in the knees, let your head hang down. And drop your knees down. Step 1 foot forward in between your hands. Take a deep bend into that front knee. Stay light on your hands. Crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Tuck your back toes under. Lift up your back knee. Start to lean the weight towards that front hand. Take the thumb, dig it into the hip, pull the hip back, open it up. Top arm stretches to the sky. Take a big inhale, get a little taller. Exhale, untwist. Go all the way back to downward dog. 1 round of breath. Drop to your knees. Step the other foot forward. Light on the fingers, long through the spine. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Take the weight to the hand. Other hand, thumb to the hip, pull back. Open it up. Top arm up. Find your breath. Big inhale. Exhale all the way to untwist. All the way back, downward dog. Step 1 foot forward. Light on the fingers, back knees lifted. Push your feet down. Wake up your core with your exhale. Stretch your arms behind you. Lift your chest. Stay here or push the feet down. Lift your torso. Lift your arms. Find your breath, that steady gaze. Big inhale. Exhale all the way down, all the way back, downward dog. 1 round of breath. Step the other foot forward. Get stable with the legs, light on the hands. Lift the chest, stretch the arms back. Stay here or push down, lift up. Bending the back knee a little bit is going to keep you more upright. 1 more breath. Inhale a little taller. Exhale all the way down, all the way back. 1 round of breath. Step 1 foot forward. Deep bend into the front knee. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Drop your back knee down, pat it if you need to, press back, straighten your front leg, lean over that extended leg. The hips often want to square to one side, even them out. And then a deeper stretch to get into the IT band. Keep the front foot really flexed. Walk your arms across the front leg. Turn your baby toe line down to the floor. Spin your back shin out. Walk a little bit more to the side. Relax where you can. I know it's strong. 3 breaths. Whew, come forward again. Back into your lunge. Lift up your back knee, downward dog. 1 breath. Step the foot forward. Deep bend into the front knee. Just a couple breaths here. I'm going to try to breathe really low into your belly, and you'll feel that your hip will get more of a stretch. 1 more. Drop your back knee down and press back. Keep the hips square. They want to shift to the side. Flex the foot. Start to walk the arms over. Baby toe line down. Back shin spins. Maybe walk a little more to the side. 3 breaths. Come forward again. Into the lunge. And back to downward dog. 1 round of breath. Big inhale. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop the feet to the hands. Keep inhaling when you come up halfway. Exhale, fold down, just stay here for a few breaths. Bend the knees as much as you need to, let the head and neck hang down. Enjoy the stretch. Release the hands, bring them to the shins. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, stay long in the spine. Inhale, push your feet down, lift all the way up. Make your way to the top of the mat. Walk your feet close together, squeeze the legs into the center line, bring the hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hands. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees enough so you can get your hands down to your mat, and then step back for high plank, the top of a push-up. Take a breath here. Maybe touch your knees down. And then exhale, keep the elbows tight to the sides, come all the way down to your belly, please. Once you get here, take your arms out for awkward cobra. So your hands slide just off your mat, and then you'll tent your hands so you're on your fingertips, and then pull your elbows up. Push your fingers into the floor, strong legs and core. Inhale, lift your chest. Maybe look a little forward. Exhale, lower. If that's pain-free, try that 2 more times, please. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last one. Get the hands underneath you. Tuck the toes. Push to all fours and then downward dog, or just up and back to downward dog. Readjust the feet as you need to. Take 3 breaths. Again, that big inhale, come up onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop the feet to the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push the feet down and lift up. Exhale, hands to prayer. We'll do a couple more variations of that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Back to that high plank, push-up position. Take a breath. Drop the knees. Lower down. More just a basic cobra here. Have the hands on the ground with the elbows pointed back behind you, strong core and legs. Just a gentle press down with the hands to lift the chest. You can stay low like I am or come a little higher and then exhale back down. 2 more. Again, tuck the toes under, all fours, and then downward dog, or just downward dog for 3 breaths when you get there. Onto the toes, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway to lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, and back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. So this is a variation of a locust. The legs and back body is really strong, as well as the core, and you'll lift your chest, hands, and straight legs up, and then lower. Do that 2 more times if it's pain-free. And lower down, and downward dog. One round of breath. Step 1 foot forward, up in between the hands. Turn your back toes out, parallel to the short side of the mat. Push the feet down, lift yourself up. Settling into a warrior B, Virabhadrasana B. Make sure the front knee goes to the baby toe side. Gentle gaze over that front hand. Settle into your breath. One more breath. Extended side angle, lean forward, bend your front arm, roll your torso open, top arm stretches up and over. You can look down to the side or up if that's okay on your neck. One more breath. Lower back down into a lunge. Make sure you lift up your back heel and then push back to downward dog. One full round of breath. Step the other foot forward. Spin the back toes out. Push up. Settle in. 3 breaths. Lean forward, bend the arm, roll open, stretch the arm up and over, breathe. Release into your lunge. Step back to downward dog. 1 round of breath. Big inhale up onto the toes, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop, feet to the hands. Halfway up, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. I haven't paused for a while, so just pause. Find your breath. Notice how you feel. Open your eyes and drop your hands. Take your block and put it at the back of your mat. At the top of the mat, bring your hands to your hips. Shift your weight to one foot. Lift up the knee. Take a round of breath. Take a big step back and then turn all 10 toes, so they're symmetrical, facing the side of your mat. And then take the back foot, turn the toes. Now this other foot, you want it either about 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, depending on what leg it is. We're setting it for triangle trikonasana. Legs are straight and strong. Stretch out through your arms, relax your shoulders. Let your hips press to your back leg and then reach as far forward as you can. Eventually you'll come down and the hand can rest on the thigh, the knee, or the shin. You really don't have to go that low. And then roll your torso open. One arm stretches up, the other arm rests down. You can look down, to the side, or up. There's this kind of back bendy quality in a triangle, so you want to feel like you're leaning back slightly. So it's a really long line with the torso. Take one more round of breath. So from here, you might come into half moon. So your top arm bends to come down to your hip. Look down to your front foot and hop that back foot in about halfway. And if you've got the block, I'd use it so the block pushes down into the ground and all the weight goes into that front foot. Start to lift up that back leg. See if you can stack the hips more on top of each other. The hand can stay on the hip or the arm could stretch up to the sky. Looking down is going to make things a bit more stable. Take one more breath. And see if you can step back into warrior B. Just cool and casual. Stretch out through the arms, over the fingers. One round of breath. Straighten the leg, drop the arms, turn all 10 toes to the side again. Make the feet symmetrical, and then turn the toes in slightly, so a little bit pigeon-toed. Bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhale, and then exhale, come forward. Bring your hands down to the ground if they can touch, or reach for the block. Let your head hang down. You can bend the knees if you need to. Feel that the weight is equal in the big toes, baby toes, both sides of the heels. Two more breaths. Lift yourself up a little bit on the inhale. Bend your knees a bit, and then walk yourself forward to your lunge. Step back, downward dog. Take a round of breath. Big inhale. Bend the knees, look forward, feet to the hands. Come up halfway and fold down. Inhale all the way up. Hands to prayer. Open the eyes. Come to the top of the mat. We'll do the other side. Hands to the hips. Lift up the other knee. Pause for a round of breath. Step the foot back. Remember to turn all 10 toes to the sides of the mat, and then turn the foot out. And the back toe, 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock, depending on your angle. Triangle, the legs are straight and strong. Stretch out through the arms, pull the hip back, reach forward. Go really far forward before you even think about coming down. And then try not to put a lot of weight onto that bottom leg. And then lean back slightly and breathe. Bend the top arm so it rests on the hip. Look down to the front foot. Bring that back foot in about halfway. Grab hold of the block. Keep looking down to the ground. And then lift up the back leg. So you can keep the hips more stacked and squared down, or roll them open. Hand might stay on the hip or stretch to the sky. Keep that back foot flexed and active, like you're pushing into an imaginary wall. And then warrior B. Nice, calm breath. Straighten the leg, drop the arms, turn the toes to the side again. Little bit pigeon-toed. This time, link up your hands behind your back. Pull down, open your chest, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Once the head and the neck are down and relaxed, pull the arms away from you, pull the shoulder blades together. Two more breaths. Release the arms. Come up about halfway. Bend the knees, walk forward, turn all 10 toes forward. Step back to downward dog. One round of breath. Onto the toes, bend the knees, step or hop forward. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, hands to prayer. And pause. Open your eyes. Drop the hands. Last standing sequence. You'll want your block for this one. Have it hanging around the top of your mat. Hands to the hips. Shift your weight to one foot. Lift up the other knee. Take your arms to the sky. Step back for Warrior A, Virabhadrasana A. So it's the narrowest pose. The hips point the most forward, like 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock with that back foot. Pull the arms back, pull the head back, settle into your breath. One more. And straighten the legs, drop the arms. Step the back foot in just a little bit closer. We're setting up for pyramid pose, same narrow hips pointed forward. A little bit of a gap in between the heels will definitely help. Take the arms out to the side, flip the thumbs down, reach back and grab your wrists or your forearms. Roll your shoulders open, look up a little bit, and then pull the hips back as you tip forward. Chin's a little bit tucked in. You're looking towards your big toe on your front foot. Keep pulling that front hip back. 2 breaths. Take the same arm as your back leg, stretch it forward. Then you might reach down and grab that block, start to bring it a little bit to the side of that front foot. Bring the other hand to the hip, squeeze the legs together, start to turn towards that front leg, so revolving. Keep the hand on the hip or stretch the arm to the sky. Keep reaching the head away from the tailbone. Stretch the arms away from each other. One more round of breath. Release that arm, release the twist. Just step into a comfortable forward fold. Maybe bend your knees a little bit more and just enjoy it for a couple breaths. Hands to the shins, halfway up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Hands to prayer. We're almost finished this sequence. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift up the knee. Take a round of breath. Step the leg back. Deep bend into the front knee. The back heel should be lower down on this and the next pose. Square the hips to the front. Arms up. Last breath. Straighten the leg, drop the arms, narrow the stance a little. Flip the thumbs down, reach back for your bind, open, lean forward. Chin's a little bit tucked in. Front hip pulls back. Take the same arm as that back leg, stretch it forward. And reach down and grab that block. Then the other hand to the hip, pull the hip back, squeeze the legs together. Maybe stretch the arm to the sky. One more breath. Lower that arm down into a forward fold. Make it comfortable. 3 breaths. And then either step back to downward dog and then child's pose, or just step back to child's pose. Take a well-deserved rest. 3 more breaths. And bring yourself up to your seat. So either keep one leg straight or tuck the leg in, whatever is best for your knee. The other leg comes up and over regardless of whether this bottom leg is straight or not. Try to even out your hips. Take an inhale, get really tall, stretch your arms to the sky. Take an exhale, twist to the front leg, and then drop the arm across the leg to help you turn. The other hand, fingers behind you, open your chest, your face towards the side. Look over the back shoulder. 3 slow breaths. Release the twist. And then switch sides. So remember, the leg can be straight or tucked. Bring the top leg across. Get tall, inhale. Exhale to twist. Three breaths. Begin to come out of the twist. This next pose may or may not work. It's called Gomukhasana or cow face. We did a version on our back. So for some of you, you'll be able to wiggle your top leg across. So the knee comes right over the other knee. Of course, you can use the block and sit up on that as well. That may help. Although some of you might just prefer to roll right onto your back and do this exact same thing. Cross one knee right over the other and hug in tight, and you'll get a strong IT band stretch. So stay here. Nice and tall is a really great option. Or there might be a little bit of room to tip slightly forward. Or some of you might really kind of collapse and round into it and let your head hang down. For those of you on your backs, you'll draw your knees in towards your chest and you'll hold your knees or your shins or your ankles, whatever's best. Unclench your jaw and take 3 more breaths. Really stretch out the next one. If you're on your seat, lift back up again to switch legs. If you're on your back, you'll start to switch your sides. Sometimes the seated version works on one side but not the other, so please come to your back if you need to. Try to get the bottom knee pointed as forward as possible. Top leg crosses up and over. Try to even out those hips. Big inhale for some height. Stay here. Or maybe lean a little forward. Or some of you will lean more forward than this and really round down. Take 3 more smooth breaths. Start to bring yourself up. So the next posture is pigeon pose or Kapotasana, and some of you will be fine in this variation that I show. Others of you will be better to roll onto your back again, and it's where you cross your ankle over the thigh. Sometimes it's called figure 4, and you draw the knees in towards your chest. So please be careful with your knees. Don't push through pain. If you're coming into pigeon pose, you'll swing around, coming into downward dog. You can lift one leg up to the sky and then bend the knee. When you bring the knee forward, take the knee over towards its own wrist, so it kind of lays behind the wrist. The front leg is crossed over on a diagonal, and you'll wiggle your back leg behind you. Just have a peek to make sure the back leg goes straight back, toes point straight back. And then even out your hips and puff up your chest a little bit. Take an inhale. And then exhale, go ahead and lower down. You can come to your forearms, or some students go flat out, whatever your preference. Take 5 slow breaths. Remember, if you're on your back, you've got the ankle crossed over the thigh and potentially drawing in the legs a bit closer. To slowly make your way back up. To switch sides. Passing through downward dog. Lifting the other leg. And then bringing that knee forward. Just double check with what that back foot's doing. The toes tend to turn and you want them straight. Big inhale at the top. And then exhale, come down. And settle into these 5 slow breaths. Stretch out the last one. And start to press up. If you're on your back, start to come out of the pose, but stay on the back. We'll meet you there. Those of you in pigeon, step back to downward dog. Maybe walk it out a little bit, or give the legs a bit of a shake even. And drop the knees. Make your way to your back for your well-deserved rest. Get any layers or cozy things that you need. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. The knees can be bent or straight, whatever your back prefers. Arms can be palm face up a little away from the body. Let yourself fully take in this rest. No core, no breath control. Just relax. Start to bring some awareness back to your body. Deepen your breath, your inhale, especially, that wakes you back up. Add some movement to anything that feels good. Eventually, bend your knees. When you roll to your side, you might want to hang out there a little longer. And then press up to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes low or closed. Bring the hands to a prayer. Drop the head. Notice how you feel. Thank your body for all its hard work. Thank yourself for practicing. Open your eyes. Lift your gaze. Thank you all for joining me. Very well done today. Namaste.